Have you ever been in a fight? No, I'm asking you guys. I mean, some of you sit there and, some of you have gotten mad over the years, but have you ever really, truly been in a fight? We've had something beaten down on you, and you taste your own blood as you hit the floor, body aching, and still something gives you the will to pick yourself up, to climb up, and to stand and to fight, to feel that fire, that desire to win at all costs, to put everything on the line, mind, body, soul, so you can go one more round, take one more punch, and find your own path to glory, the warrior's way, the pugilist way. And if you don't know what a pugilist is, I'm about to tell you, because we're doing another movie review. Yeah. I'm Jack Slater, as you know, the comic outlaw. Check us out on YouTube, subscribe, and spread the word. Anyways, we're going to be doing Grudge match. Yup. Sylvester Stallone, Robert De Niro. Two great actors. And yes, I don't really give a shit what anyone says. I love the Rocky movies. I love everything that Robert De Niro did. And Robert De Niro was in a boxing movie called Raging Bull back in the day, so kind of fits. Now, this is about these two boxers. And what happens is one's called Billy the Kid and the other one's called Razor. And they had a series of matches, too, where one won. He kind of beat the ever-loving crap out of him. And then the other one won. And so they had this match where, see, the Kid won the first one, Sylvester Stallone's character, Razor, won the second one, and then Razor just decided never to do it again. Which drove Kid crazy because he always wanted the rematch. He felt he was out of shape. He was doing too much partying. And unbeknownst to anybody else or the fans, Kid actually ends up screwing Razor's girlfriend and gets her pregnant. And that's the reason that Razor never gave him another shot. Because that was the one thing Kid wanted, and that was the only thing that he could permanently take away from him. So now, all these years later, the manager's son, who's played by Kevin Hart, Kevin Hart's another one of those people that are hit and miss with me. I don't like a lot of his movies. He's in a few good ones here and there. But I love a lot of his comedy, his interviews, stuff like that. His Heart to Heart's excellent. But, he comes back as a manager. He brings them back together. They're going to do this boxing thing for the video games that ends up turning into a fight. Everybody gets interested. And furthermore, everybody starts to want to see this rematch between these two guys. Now, the problem is getting these two guys to work together long enough because they hate each other. And, of course, Kim Basinger actually plays Sylvester Stallone's girlfriend that had an affair with Robert De Niro. Like I said, it gets murky. And they have a son named BJ. Now, BJ is played by the guy that, John Berthenol. He's from Walking Dead. And he does a great job. He actually looks like Robert De Niro. He actually has a swagger. I believe him as Robert De Niro's son. And he has a son, too, in this. So, his character never knowing his son, or that he ever had a grandson, it begins to change this man. He's a very selfish man. And he owns a car dealership. He's basically an advertisement whore. And he begins to slowly change as he begins to meet these people. But he is a grade A fuck-up. And you got to keep that in mind, because he does screw the pooch a few times when taking care of his grandson, for example, or other such things. Razor, on the other hand, he kind of just lost all of his money throughout the years. He works in the same steel plant he always worked at. He's known as the champ. He's like a local hero. And he's doing this because his coach, Lightning, which is played by Alan Arkin. They've played in a lot of movies together over the years. And he ends up getting the disease. Lightning needs to pay for that because he's the one kind of taking care of him. He's kind of like a father figure to him. So they end up moving in together, and he needs the money to pay the bills. So it starts this like fight for money. Like they start doing appearances together. They start getting into fights. There's even one scene where they're jumping out of a plane, and Stallone's character pushes De Niro's character out first. You know, like all happy. Kevin Hart tells him, you know, there's an extra $50,000 to whoever hits the ground first, and boom, Stallone jumps out too. And there's a lot of funny scenes in this movie. De Niro plays a real fucking smart ass in this. I mean, he tells this guy, hey, you know what? I named my son after your wife's favorite occupation she likes doing with me. This movie is freaking hilarious. There's a lot of good montages for boxing too. The boxing match is actually really good too. There's a lot of things to like about this. It's funny, witty, has a great cast of actors, and is more than just a boxing movie. It's not Rocky, okay? Rocky, you know, there's always an opponent, and then there's that dun 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 dun. You know, where you get there's none of that shit here. It's more funny. It's more of a family story as Razor tries to build his life back with his ex, you know, Kim Basinger's character, and getting to know BJ and the family and the family's kind of combined together because Razor and Kid have to sort of get along because he's with the mother and he has a son from the mother, so it's kind of they have to make a connection in that way too. And yeah, like I said, the fight is excellent. The movie is excellent. The way that the old Coach Lightning kind of trains Sylvester Stallone's character. There's a few stereotypes. There's actually a few funny callbacks to Rocky and stuff like that, where he's gonna hit a meat. He's like, wait, what are you doing? You don't want to hit that. You know, it's freaking hilarious. A little callbacks here and there. You know, little jokes that you would get if you've seen both these actors before. This movie was really well done, and yeah, check it out just so you guys get a rough idea what I'm talking about. Grudge match. Yes, I did buy this from the video store, extremely cheap when everything started to close down. Look, there's the guys right there. Kid, Razor, Lightning, and Kid. Kid's Robert De Niro's character. And yeah, basically at this point, like I said, Kid's a very selfish guy. He owns a lot of like car dealerships, bars, stuff like that. You know, he took his money and he put his face on anything he could. So he basically made his money, but the one thing, like even through all his success, he never got that rematch that he wanted. And Razor has a point to prove, so this match does get good. You'll find out that Sylvester Stallone has a deficiency that ends up being a problem. You find out that's the real reason he retired in his eye. And like I said, the movie's really good. It has not a lot of twists and turns, but more like the story progresses naturally. Like some stories are very bumpy. Some stories, you know, like there's unnecessary scenes. Every scene in this movie is actually necessary and good for the storyline. I was surprised when I watched this movie. I thought it was just going to be a boxing movie about two old guys getting pumped during, like, I don't know, during 80s music or something like that. You know, like just sitting there doing crunches and doing impossible things that men their age couldn't do. This movie, they know their limits, all right? They both know their age. They're not like miraculously going to become the Terminator overnight and just beat the crap out of each other. That doesn't happen. This movie's a more realistic approach to it. Oh yes, LL Cool J is in this movie. Yes, you heard me right. LL Cool J is in this movie. He ends up being a trainer for a Kid. Well, he ends up kind of training in his gym. And Kid kind of did him the favor back in the day because his father used to work for Kid. So yes, LL Cool J is in this movie. He does a great job. Like I said, there's a lot of good actors in this movie. A lot of good cameos. It's worth watching. Of course, I'm not going to tell you who wins, even though this movie came out a long time ago and you can probably Google it. But why? Why not just enjoy a good movie with two quality actors and a whole lot of other quality actors making this movie? It's called Grudge Match. I recommend it. It's one of those movies that'll keep you on your toes. It'll keep you laughing. And you'll never know which way the story's going to go. Round by round, ring by ring. There's only one way to find out who's going to be the fucking king. Will it be Stallone or De Niro? Well, we're going to find out who makes that De Niro, huh? As always, I'm Jack Slater, the comic outlaw. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah!